The be-all and end-all for me was representing the green and black and pulling it over my neck. I first started playing for Clevie when I was 8 years old. To wear the Armagh jersey really for the first time was at minor level. I ended up playing 2 years at minor, but in '98 I actually spent the winter in New York and got offered a soccer scholarship and came home for Christmas and was heading back to take it up. By chance I got the call up to the Armagh senior squad. To be honest, I was probably a decent soccer player back then. I probably, given the right opportunity, could have made it, but that's the way it was. Gaelic was always my first love and I was never going to give up on it.
In 1999, bhreanna Stephen McDonnell amach ó bhíonn na nodiche na a grú ardwacha craomhóla gon chéadúir le 7 bliana déag in 9 dún.
Ulster champions 1999.
Chuideach sé tús le ré ór go ardwacha agus le Aistir Pelle McDonnell.
This is just the beginning of a story I feel will unfold as the 21st century begins.
Agus ní sé bhád gur McDonnell léadú a chumas na a bhfuil ardwacha deide I mbliain an 2000 I gluific Hannah Shola.
You're getting into the match and you're looking at the likes of Anthony Toole. You know, there's probably a wee bit of awe, me looking at those guys and saying, you know, can I compete against these boys?
The Ulster champions open their accounts.
Players who are going to make it have a naturalness about them, and Stevie is one of those boys.
He's only new onto the team, but Hank and Throne, we were kind of aware of him that he is going to be a dangerous forward.
Great catch. Gone inside. Here's a chance. Stephen McDonnell.
A great instinct for a goal. You could see this guy was going to be a big player in the Armagh team.
A masterful goal. Armagh retain the Ulster title and win their 9th in all.
An chéad rásúra eile, Ciarraí a gluifi leachcheannis na héireann, achas cluife gur bhaile McDonnell dearmod íonair.
I roomed with Cahill O'Rourke the night before, and Cahill's a great man for telling stories, and he often reminds me of this story. He says at 12 o'clock at night, just out of the blue, when he thought I was asleep and he was meant to be asleep, I just turned around, Cahill, what's it like playing in Croke Park? And he knew straight away that I was thinking too much about, you know, going to Croke Park and playing there.
Broken ball here, Stephen McDonnell.
Well, beidir mi hansle Stephen McDonnell and Lawson graf sé a techt a gine counts na cosantóirí fear bhí riamhige Ciarraí Mike McCarthy bhí na hen dige Mike.
Down towards Stephen McDonnell. Keeping a little eye on him, however, is Michael McCarthy.
Sometimes you can let the occasion play and you don't play the match, and on that particular day that's what happened to me.
Stevie was still very young then. It was a learning experience, and some people that would break them, but not Stevie. Stevie was mentally strong and was willing to take it on the chin that he had a bad day.
The player going off is Stephen McDonnell.
As a young lad, you know you're going to get the call at some stage, and I can remember as clear as day looking at the two brands, and I knew ultimately that call was going to be made, and I'm actually surprised, given the performance that I put in, that I lasted so long.
A drochhuid go McDonnell, mar eall a huspontas, is a mínse bhí sé go nahimirt.
It's how you come out of those things, and you talk about the mental strength. Stevie was one of those boys that had that mental strength and that self-belief, knowing that it wouldn't happen to him again.
I remember coming on in the replay, I kicked 3 points. Those experiences of playing Kerry in 2000 in the semi-finals were certainly the making of me.
It's all over, and Kerry have won.
Sin rách le leachcheanna sé sa chéile a bhí caiilte in tí íireachta chu chluhí leachcheanna sé bhuachna. Agus ceap mar gnám a buirtean isisiúra a gluhí leachcheanna sna I léireann beidir go bné ggéire go gluismid meallar san.
And the referee whistles. Galway have won.
Ráhílig sa híon, agus a 9 Gaillimhe, cháil ardwacha cluifi leachcheannis na héireann na díist. Bheith brudach in dearthú, agus ceapún bainisteoir a bhí choirithe club na héireann, roianaí na crushe, Joe Kernan na bhailearab.
I was inheriting a team who were close. I wasn't inheriting a team that you were starting from scratch. It was obvious that they just wanted to go that extra bit and prove to the country how good they really were.
Agus bhí taithí ag Joe, fórna och angris a thuirt go Páirc Chrócaigh dul bhaile lá le pádraigh le cornan an ghlaiceach, agus beidir go bnéan beidir an féin bhínín agus an creidirh san a bhí a nasnamh.
Le bainisteoir nó, tháinig smuointe nó, agus a gréibhhola I 2002 Cwrw na smainte nhw y faim nyr y chas ordwacha na sianovde Tyrone.
Joe done things differently. He brought in psychologists, he brought in statisticians, and we got ridiculed for that. We were the very first team ever to go on a pre-championship training camp. We went to La Manga in Spain.
Personally, I knew it was going to put pressure on the players being out there, because I knew what the media was going to say, that here's our man away in a holiday. So it really unified the squad.
We heard about the famous trip to La Manga. We kind of laughed at it. We thought they were mad, but then after getting bit, you kind of went, maybe they're not.
John Toll comes forward. There's a nice ball into Stephen McDonnell. Is there a second point for Stephen McDonnell in the top? Yes!
It's probably the start of that Armagh team that took GAA probably from amateur to professionalism. And when we met them that day in Clonus, we noticed there was something special about them, that they were maybe on a mission.
To Stephen McDonnell. McDonnell looking for the point. In over the bar. That glorious point.
I think after that particular match, it made people stand up and realise, you know, this Armagh team aren't going away, and maybe they're here for the long fight after all.
Bhí ratharb faoi Joe Kernan rééis an discipuin, agus chlé ordwacha dúnaá le na tríú craobháil a ghróchaint in nachar cheire bliana.
Back out to Stephen McDonnell. And he hits it powerfully with the left. Ronan Clark has options, uses McDonnell, who chips Tony Glegg and sends it over the bar. I do believe we have new Ulster champions. They've been rejuvenated under the big man from Crossmaglen.
Le clia has sidir ordwacha agus áit sa glufi canis. Acham nach ordwacha in an on small of your rub a glufi le canis a harún warsha.
We had gone for 3 or 4 years to Croke Park and failed to come away with a result. So, you know, I think going into that game, we did believe that this was the day to put things right. This was the first opportunity I had of playing an All-Ireland semi-final since the Kerry debacle 2 years beforehand. I remember thinking to myself after 10 minutes, I'm not really getting under the ball here. I need to get under the ball and settle my nerves here, because I don't want this passing me by and being called ashore again.
The ball is going straight over the wall.
Both teams were weighing each other up, scoping each other out. Didn't really kick into life until early in the second half.
Chance here for Armagh. Chance for Paddy McKeever.
When Dublin scored the goal after we scored the goal,
Chance of a goal. Oh, what a shot.
under normal circumstances we would have folded, but not that day.
Confronted by Paul Casey. McConville, great run. Uses the fist and sends it over the bar.
Armagh just got momentum in the crucial period, and we had the chance, obviously, the Ray Cosgrove free.
And it come down to the last kick of the game, Ray Cosgrove.
Does this go to a replay? Hill 16 he faces. It's floating to the right. Will it curl off the post? Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Some people will tell you that winning the semi-final was better than winning the final,
It's all over.
because the fact that we tried for 3 or 4 years and couldn't get there, and then all of a sudden we were in the final, which was unbelievable.
Armagh, having lost to Meath and Kerry, have finally done it. They have finally won a match in Croke Park.
Yes, the big moment has come. Third time ever playing in the All-Ireland football
Gun
final.
chéadúir le chuig bliana fichiad, bhí ordwacha eis a glufi canis na héireann. Achanis, bhí orb talach réagan na pellach lí, Kiri.
For the first 15-20 minutes, the game was point for point.
Will this one land between the posts? It will, and it's Stephen McDonnell.
He was beginning to come into his own. You could see him as he's becoming like as a big time player now.
Stephen McDonnell, and he's put it over the bar.
Kerry kicked on, had their purple patch towards the last part of the half.
Gooch looking for a score. Trying to go this way and that. And he's kicked up beauty.
But just before half-time we missed the penalty.
A minute to go to the end of this first half. And this one is missed. It was missed.
When you look at video footage of us leaving the pitch and seeing the 19-year-old lad in Ronan Clark putting his arm around Oisín McConville after missing a penalty and telling him to keep his head up, it shows the character that was within the team.
We planned then coming up to the final, if there was a problem, we weren't going well, that we try and do something that might lift the head. So This is where the famous plaque came in, that the one I had that I got in All Ireland final, and I didn't like looking at it because it was there and it was a loser's medal and we didn't want the players to have them. So I said, boys, which do you want? Do you want this thing that I don't want, or do you want this an All Ireland medal for the rest of your days?
We've put ourselves through a lot of heartache over the last couple of years. We're sitting in a bad place here at the minute, but we can get ourselves out of it.
Stern words having been spoken in the dressing room.
I always felt going out in the second half, we do need a goal. You know, we will not get back into this game by points alone.
Second half is underway. What can Armagh do? It's inside towards McGrain. It comes back nicely. It's the first goal and it's scored by Oisin McConville.
Goal fuair Oisin McConville an lásan a chasca chéanad. Thosnaigh imreoirí nó Stephen McDonnell, Diarmuid Maris agus it's on a gimmert Maris féadlo again.
That really sparked something in the second half. From then on, it's all to play for.
It's a good one and it's over the bar and the teams are level. Gael trying to come through. Paul McGrain trying to stop him, so too John Toll lets the ball slip under his legs, gets it back.
The pass of the championship, Aidan O'Rourke's kick from right half back to the left side of the front of the goals.
Dropped in neatly here.
Believe it or not, it was a move that we had worked on the whole year, and for it to work the way it did at the most defining moment of our season
Once again into Stephen McDonnell and he's put it over the bar.
was great recognition of the hours upon hours of training ground work that we put in.
It's his third point. More significantly, Armagh lead the All-Ireland final.
Stevie took responsibility. I'm taking responsibility. We haven't scored in a while. I'm going to get the ball and I'm going to put it over the bar.
Also Shea feeding it in and good defensive play by Armagh. It's out to Kieran McGeady, the captain. It's all over.
So then all hell broke loose.
Credit to them the way they applied themselves when everything seemed gone from them.
You know, to kick the winning point in an All-Ireland final, looking back, is what dreams are made of.
Sam is going north once again.
And the first people I remember seeing is my brother and my mates. I also remember seeing my girlfriend at the time, now my wife. And that's two of the vivid memories that I have directly after winning it, is seeing, I suppose, friends and family members that I dearly love, and they were there for that moment.
A delighted Kieran McGeady and a delightful day. Look at that scene. Just quite amazing.
Gun chéadúir díomh bhí Ardwacha Champini ile éireann. Ach an meach siad an an grím a chuineal ar Sam i 2003.
They think.
Héis gur cháil siad an naimhhaoineachán a 2003, bégan go choirí na héireann Ardwacha tíú ar na bátaí cáiliche an naimh le clia. Agus ní bheith blianaí sáraigh McDonnell in Anzaí Chundé.
We had a huge setback against Monaghan. Mentally and psychologically, that as All-Ireland champions, that's a huge dent. And you have to overcome that and overcome it quite quickly. And the big game for me was Dublin once again.
McDonnell goes for the point and gets it.
He was the best forward in Ireland at that time. A clinical right foot, left foot. The man would go to tackle him on the right and he just turns and puts it over with the left.
It's all over. The All-Ireland champions have answered the big questions about their temperament. Absolutely stunning performance from Stephen McDonnell.
The famous game then, I think it was Limerick, where Stevie took control that day and he scored 3 goals and maybe 4 or 5 points.
He was at a stage unmarkable, and as a defender, as I said, you're putting him down one wing and you think you have him, and then he had that quick turn, he could just turn and shoot it.
The semi-final against Donegal was a massive game for us because Tyrone had already got themselves to an All-Ireland final.
This is 2 against 1. McDonnell wins the tussle. Yeah,
Fate had it. We knew we were going to meet them, and that we were at the stage that I think they drove us on to be better, and at the same time we drove them on to be better, and it was a unique rivalry.
The All-Ireland champions are through to the All-Ireland football final against Tyrone. History in the making on September 28th.
Bheadh se na chog dearug. Idir céilí córa gur a géarmaíocht dátarb, Ardwacha agus Tyrone, I glufi canis na héireann, 2003.
Things were different because it was an all-Ulster final, in particular because it was the rivalry between ourselves and Tyrone.
There was a tension in the air, like it was the only game at that time that you wanted to be involved in.
Our experience of being there the year before put us in a very strong position, but Tyrone, the youth that they had coming through, you know, also put them in a strong position.
Cluthe town go maith bheithe, ní raibh mór an spáis, cluthe difriúla bheithe ag an am.
William O'Reilly and Zachary Troscar on a Kayla or the
When you get to an All-Ireland final, it's all about performance and delivery, and we didn't do either.
McDonnell Colin and the Kitto.
Chuileach Diarmaid Marsden and Barks na Gordon Land átar sin, agus chas sé ar achtraí mar sin.
Tá got tanhil on the Voga.
Siad Tyrone úsáid momentum.
When the chips were down and Everton was nearly gone, Stevie got a half chance.
Bhí an obair chrúig is stocha dianta ag díar fá agus níor bhánach an trigger agus scaoil leis an ruchar atá.
He fought to get the ball, but he got turned, and the shot was heading for the bottom right-hand corner.
Block on Conor Gormley.
I just mind turning around and I mind seeing Stevie having the ball, and I've kind of chased him back, and the first thing went through my head was goal.
I personally didn't see Conor coming. If I had have seen him coming, I would have maybe tried to cut inside him.
And only for an out of this world save, a block, we probably would have won our second All-Ireland. That's the beauty of the game, and that's the heartache of the game.
Those are the moments that define champions, and for Conor to put his body on the line and make a block of that magnitude at that particular time in that match, you know, warranted Tyrone to become All-Ireland champions.
The 2003 Footballer of the Year is from County Armagh, Stephen McDonnell.
Chríoch na McDonnell ráhílig sa trí mar fellador na bliana. Agus cinnach ráhílig sa ceir chomá, hí ardwacha eis se láran na ríist, na thug sé dá iad híró na glufi canishola barca chrócha ráhílig sa cód.
I remember going down Jones's Road, 60,000 people, and you're saying, what the hell am I getting myself into this? And the players felt the exact same, but once you went into the dressing room, you were ready for battle.
You had everything that you wanted in any Gaelic football match. Intensity, quality scores, quality players on both teams. In the drawn game, Tyrone should have beat us. We were 4 points down with time almost up.
Armagh, time not on their side now.
Stevie was one of those boys that was always there, looking for the ball. When his defender had given me yard, saying, Stevie knew I have you now, just give me the ball.
Puts it in for his McDonnell. McDonnell at the end of it. It's a shot and it's a goal for Armagh.
He was a hard player to shut down. When you think he got on top of him, he always came back with something different then.
Here's Paul McGrain going for the equaliser, and there it is. Paul Hirting takes the kick out, and it is a draw.
But that was the first of a series of 3 games that were remarkable when you look back on them.
Armagh and Tyrone have to do it all over again. There's a lot at stake, a lot of pride. Game on.
Is dullam sa go bnéanú is fearr bhí ardwacha sa bhíon gábhí sa cúig. Chuir do numa caiithna le chéile, agus bhí an 8-3 na cluichí ar fad. Idir imreoirí áirithe, agus idir grúpaí, agus idir dáirin a chroigh sa tennis, nádas agus a rauirh niv atú.
Ryan McMenamin, it's bending and it's bending over the ball.
The intensity got worse, the pressure got worse, but that's why you're involved in these things. That's why the players love playing those matches.
Thought about laying it off, goes for the point instead. Croke Park is now a cauldron.
There was a bit of a melee in the middle of the pitch where Peter Canavan got sent off. That gave us the edge.
And things are getting out of control. And referee is sending him off. Oh dear. A straight red for Peter Canavan.
But when the game was there to be won from around the 65th minute, you know, we are the team that stood up and were counted.
Shane scores his first point for play. And Armagh are now 2 points to the good. The referee blows the full-time whistle. And Armagh are the Ulster football champions.
But winning Ulster wasn't the goal of that Armagh team. The goal of that Armagh team was to kick on and win All-Ireland.
gon trí uair an éon bhléana bháin chua ardwach agus tírón an air go chéile a chan uair seo viidir a glufi leach anis na héireann.
And the way I was marking Stevie that day, no matter how well you marked him, you could find in the space of 5 minutes he's put 3 over the bar and you...
Cooley to Gael McDonnell. Jesse McDonnell does a TV with the rod them up. Forskis Dachige.
In a game where Armagh dominated, it was probably the rootless streak on us that let us down in the end.
And once again, it come down to a kick at the ball, one kick at the ball.
Jesse Canavan, August Thorson, Portzige.
But that just shows you how close both teams were.
Tiro in the left, and all right.
That was the toughest defeat that I've ever faced. You look back with regret. I did kick a goal and maybe 2 or 3 points in that match, but I still had opportunities to kick more. I remember going on holidays directly afterwards because I couldn't take the pain of the defeat.
Cuineog daoine na chluíoch, tá sa gine fad ní cén bhatha sé sár chluíoch chaún mar bhfuil feice go tá bhar an eile. Tá na cuineogain a chan an lé na chuíocha gar bhacha siar créimh léir na bháine há chu.
I rábhílegus a sé, bhain ardwach an abátaí cearú ceanna seamach an éichéirí. Bhuidir bháin eile, léire ardwacha agus McDonnell go raibh siad sa gúra fós go chraobh na héireann.
Lofting it down once again towards Stevie McDonnell, who got isolated, got a good first run on it and puts it over the bar. Going long, big one towards Clark, a little touch for McDonnell, goal!
I remember Ronan Clark in the second half kicking a fantastic score from out wide, just underneath the Hogan stand. That left a point or two between the teams with 5 or 6 minutes left, and it was all to play for.
It's a third.
5 minutes to go, they were a man down, we were going to finish strong.
Nicely in towards Declan O'Sullivan.
We made a mistake, Kerry punished us and the game was over in a couple of seconds.
Armagh, they're in numbers. Mike Van Russell very nearly defeated. It's Declan O'Sullivan. It's Darren who gets there. Surely now, Kerry are going to make it to the semi-finals.
2006, the boys knew that was probably the closest that some of them were ever going to get. Could we had another 1 or 2 All-Ireland certainly, but we did everything we could. You know, the players put their lives on hold for those 8, 9, 10 years, which was unbelievable. It's so hard when you know how much the players give.
Bíochas gur ghrú siad craobhla rábhílegus a hocht, is gúla chua ardwachas na blianta na dhéisisin. Ach ní hála bhí sé McDonnell, mar bhí sé ghine gona tosaithe a beár sa tíre gúnaí.
He didn't probably have the same quality around him, but he had turned probably from being the leader of the forward line probably to the leader of the team, and everything that Armagh was about was driven by Stevie, and he had become the focal point of the team, and he'd become the driving force of the team.
McDonnell has it again in front of goal, and you can't give him that kind of latitude.
To be one of the leaders, that was just a natural step for Stevie to be.
Just on cue, Stevie McDonnell hammers that over the bar.
Ach fennáms go síocht na sé gimmert. Bhí sé tuairt sampla agus samplaí úntacha de imreoirí le sé buntlacht dóibh na bunchaidáin ná raifá níos ísinaid.
Stephen McDonnell is onto it. Stephen McDonnell has lost the foot. Stephen McDonnell has not lost his left foot, has not lost his bearings, and over the top it goes.
I rábhílegus a híineag, héis go immert go ardwach a go nuair dhearnach, Díimir sé gon tríú uair sa srá idirnáisiúnta na hastráile le coran Cormac McDonnell thuirtí éis go héireann.
I went down to Australia my last test with 2 goals, and the first goal was to win the series, and the second goal was to become the first player to kick over 100 points in the international rules. I ended up kicking 118.
That was the last challenge for Stevie. He just loved scoring and he knew how to do it all the time, but that is still such hard work.
It's the commitment that's required to achieve that success, and what you're expected to put your life on hold and your body through to achieve it as well. That's the difficult part.
But he still was able to rise to the occasion. If ever you wanted a fit and way to go out with an Irish jersey.